In this lesson, we will connect a flexi line to the left forearm. Let's go ahead and merge it in. And afterwards, we'll want to make sure it's renamed. So after selecting all objects, we will give it a prefix of L_forearm_. Let's choose rename. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, great. Let's do the same thing for its layer. So we're using that same prefix. We can now go ahead and hide this layer and work on aligning this to the forearm. So we'll need to position constrain between the forearm and wrist. So there's 1 and 2. All right, now let's go ahead and create our temp helper so that we can align it. Heading over to create, we'll make a point helper. Let's go ahead and set it to cross. Let's go ahead and add that to the scene, and we'll align this to our forearm bone. Let's make sure our move tool is set to local, and we'll move this object back. Grabbing the Flexi system's global control, let's grab our look at constraint and point at the forearm bone. Let's take a look at our settings. Underneath rotation, we need to make sure that our look at axis is Y. The up node control is look at. We now need to choose the object that should be our up node object. Great. So once that's in place, we can now go ahead and take the helper that's tied to our shoulder. Let's go ahead and clone that, rename it, so that will be L forearm Flexi Connect Global 01. Let's go ahead and Alt-A align this to our new Flexi rig. And let's go ahead and have this linked to our forearm bone. Great. All right, so now we can go ahead and freeze transforms on the Flexi line's global control. From there, we'll want to align it back to our helper. Great. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scale of this object. We most certainly can scale it down a bit more. So just taking a look at the size here. Looks like about a size of 81 would work. Let's set it to that. We can now link to our global control. Okay, great. So once that's done, we're essentially ready to freeze this object and then work on constraining to finish up this lesson. So since we already have the global control connected, let's go ahead and work on connecting it with position and orientation constraints. Great. And now let's go ahead and connect the connect curves. So the one for the forearm gets tied to the forearm. And now we'll go ahead and take care of the connect curve that should be tied to our wrist. So we'll position constrain that to our wrist bone. Great. All right, well, that looks good. I think we're finished up with this lesson. Feel free to just go in and delete this temp helper. We no longer need that. And in the next lesson, we can start to work on making sure that this will twist properly.